It's Kelly. As promised, I'm actually going to get to do our live scrapbooking or scrapbook room tour today. Once I turn down my there we go. Okay. Once I turn down my microphone on my iPad. So, and we get the scrubbing. So sorry, this has been a little wobbly at first. So just trying to get it up. All right. So thanks, Tamara. Glad to see you. Glad you commented because I know that part is working first. So this is a little later than I had intended because it's rained really hard here this afternoon. And there's a ledge right outside my scrap room that when it rains, it gets really super loud. And it's dripping now, so I've had to close the window, but it's not as bad or as noisy. So I'm going to back up because I'm going to start with my desk first. I'm going to try to do this slow so you guys can see what's going on. Also, I've got you live, but I'm not always going to be right next to my iPad to be able to see comments. So I'll definitely go back through them in the end, and when I can, I'll comment as I'm doing that. So throw your questions up if you need to, or I'll ask about questions at the end. So this is my desk space. And this is the same desk configuration basically that I had when I was in my old room where the desk is in the corner. I have a large filing cabinet here and then two smaller filing cabinets there. And then my actual desk space setup is similar with a couple of differences. So I'll go through that with you as I go through the whole process here. I'll open drawers and that kind of stuff where it's pertinent to scrapbooking, but this is also my office. So it's not, there are things that don't pertain to scrapbooking here. So let's start out with the top of my desk. I'm going to pull my chair back. And so I have two baskets here, this one, and then this one. And then we go to stuff. This is a tower that I have a light on in my filming arm. So I actually left that stuff up so you guys can see it. Back to another basket, and then ending with my trimmer and all that. I'm right-handed, so my trimmer's on the right side of my desk, which that I'm sure depends a little bit on whether you're right or left-handed. And I'm sorry that this is wobbly. I'm trying to hold it straight, but it's really hard when you do it with one hand. So let's come back here and we'll go piece by piece. So right here on the left, the first basket is a basket that I found at World Market. All this stuff is older, all my, all that kind of stuff. And I keep doilies and that kind of stuff in there, mostly doilies right now. Next basket, and this is a hugely important basket. I am a person who needs to see my stuff or I don't use it. So this basket was from Target. I have two of them. Right here are longer stickers. These are where I keep my small alphas. So all those LE Studio alphas, all the tile alphas are here. This is this part of the basket is embellishments. So a lot of it is LE Studio stuff. Let me grab, so stuff like this, my hearts and stars and all that kind of stuff are in there. This basket, this part of the basket is a lot of label stickers, and then the old style sticker books from American Crafts, and then the hashtag sticker books and a few other things as well. So when I talk about the basket to my left hand, that's the one. It literally, there's my desk space that I work on right here. So that's pretty darn close for a reason, because I grab that stuff all the time. Then my big giant roll of foam tape, which is definitely not anywhere near as giant as it used to be. My 6x8 and 6x6 pads, so they're out there. I'm trying not to buy any more of those because I just don't use them all that often. And I think, if I'm not using them, I shouldn't be buying them, right? But they're there so I can see them and think about them. Then this is an old flower pot that I just put my most used tools in. So my Chamel scissors is there, my my pokey tool is there, my little tweezers you see is there, hole punches, my Tim Holtz stapler is there, all that kind of stuff is there. And then behind that is a mug. I used to work for Kohl's years ago, and that's where like my my pens and that kind of stuff are in there. Okay, I use lights right by my desk, right at my desk, so you can see that. And again, filming arm here, so you can see how that works. My phone just clips up into here, and then I have my phone cord here because that way I can plug it in and I never have to worry about it stopping during filming because I didn't have enough battery life. That's not such a problem for me now, but it used to be a big problem with my old phone. Then up on top here, just a light that I made. It's hard to tell, but it's just a white light that I bought at Crate and Barrel years ago, and I put some little daisy trim. I'm going to bring this up so you can see it, like daisy trim on girls that you could do for girls dresses, because my old scrap room, my very first scrap room in my house years ago was denim and yellow, and I would love to go back to that someday when I own my own home again, when the housing prices aren't so crazy. So then next, these are all those 4x6 photo cases that store my LE Studio labels and that kind of stuff. So those all sit there. I had so many because I really pulled them all apart that I do have one for red. I've got some homemade enamel dots here, sequins. These are sequins that I got when I was on the Cheeky Studio design team. And in the back, in some round cases, let me grab those, are some more sequins. You can get these at Walmart. And then I do have boxes of more colorful sequins. So that's that. Then, and this is this piece is really an old, like shoe rack thing that my mom had. So I repurposed that. Right here is my basket of enamel dots. It's a 31 bag. I've talked about that before. My fine line bottle, my scissors sharpener, undo is back there. I have a pencil sharpener, just more used things. Right down underneath, it's a short space, so I've got my stapler and then my thickers guides are there. Then next to that, again, another light. And then right here is a little dish that sat on my mom's mother, so my grandmother's dresser. And she was German, not Irish, but it has an Irish saying with 4-leaf clovers. So that's my thing where I put my little spare pieces that fall out, things I want to use. I always stick extra foam tape on there to use. My microphone, so for when I'm doing my voiceovers, whatever those things are called. So there then is my second basket. And again, most used stuff. So in here are a lot of more three-dimensional elements, not stickers. So I've got cork and denim. I have lots of bows, that kind of stuff, some extra little chipboard or the old, I think I have some old stars and stuff that you can ink as well with spray ink. In here are mostly my LE Studio and color cast embellishments. So there's acrylic, there's wood, all that kind of stuff in here. This is where I stick that bag of, sometimes you'll see me use my glitter hearts and that kind of stuff that I make my own. So that's there. And then this is where I keep my 3x4 and 4x6 journaling cards. The 3x4s alone used to take up this space, but I've really worked through them, and I made it a point. I did not do any LE Studio packages. November, they always, at Black Friday, they always do a really cool sale. I did not do that because I had so many 3x4 cards. I decided enough was enough. Okay, right above that, actually, I have a frame there. So that's one of those shadow box frames, and that's where my word of the year goes. And my word of the year is embrace. And it was to embrace where I was right then and where I was going, because I was in the process of moving and I didn't know where and all that. And then the other cool part about that word is I'm now dating somebody that I didn't expect. That little wand and tiara is from a Queen and Company event I went to. So that's where that came from. All right. So back down, here's where I keep my Caterpillar trimmer. I have the big one. And then there's a little drawer in front here that pulls out. I'm not going to do it because I'll really shake the camera here. But that pulls out, and that's where I keep my pens that I journal with. So my navy, black, gray, all of that is there. There's my wine that I'm drinking because, like, this is real life. I didn't clean my scrap room up for you guys. I finished scrapbooking and I put the stuff away the way I always do. Kleenex. And then these are how I store my photos. So they just sit right here on my desk. In these boxes, these keep the little envelopes that Cropper Hopper, you can keep the photos in, but that's where I put my photos and how I do them. So each of the families and me get an envelope. Actually, my grandkids have 2 right now just because I haven't scrapbooked very much this spring and I'm way behind. I don't want to say behind, but anyway, my my ATG, that's what that is, sits right on top of there all the time. So that's that. Then let's do the desk drawers since we're going to do that. My desk drawer here is largely other stuff, but I have, and you might be able to see them later, these are little organizing things that I found at, not Home Goods, Linens and things, I believe. So... Hey, Angela, that's awesome. Yes, it's not after 5 here, but it's getting close. So anyway, so I keep extra pens and that kind of stuff in here, my rulers and that kind of stuff in here, but there's paperwork in there as well. Not well organized. Okay. So my desk, by the way, is an old desk from Pottery Barn. Oh my gosh. It's probably close to, I would guess it's about 16 or 18 years old now. All right, so then this is one of the drawers, and now you can see those organizers a lot better. So here are, and now I just looked at this, I have all these color staples, and I got rid of the stapler. So I'll have to come back, and I'm going to do that right now while I'm thinking about it. Although, actually, I might be able to use these in my regular stapler. I'm going to leave those and I'll test that out. But they're all colored. I used to have a long reach stapler that I don't have anymore. I just wasn't using it. My Tim Holtz stapler stuff is there. I've got extra blades for a trimmer there. My crocodiles in here. I've got binder rings, my fuse tools in here. So it's more tool. This is my Creative Memories corner rounder, which is my preferred corner rounder. My tiny heart punches. So some really tiny punches. I'll show you where my other ones are stored. I've got my fuse for my fuse tool, that kind of stuff. This is a more tool directed drawer here. So then my next drawer, oh my, sorry guys, that doesn't sound good. Something's stuck there. I'll have to figure out what that, oh, I know what it is. It's my pad for my carpeting pad. So in here, I do own a sewing machine. That sounds awful. I'm so sorry. So that's that. But then I keep these boxes in here, and that's where smaller embellishments go. So I've got brads here. This is a lot of chipboard. I have some flowers, tags, that kind of stuff. My wax paper is here. There's some stencils in this old Heidi Swap thing that I don't use very often. Some overflow wood stars, some overflow ink pads, that kind of stuff. This is going to make a horrible noise again, so I'm sorry. As I close that, it wasn't too bad. That was stuck. I'll have to change that. Oh, this is nice. I told you real life, right? So this is underneath my desk. So here are my spare paper envelopes. I just keep them there. And then, and I have about 6 or 7 of them because I've been really working on paper. I'm on a stash freeze. This is my washi tape box. I did review that. You can find it in the playlist for scrap room stuff. My garbage can, which needs to be changed. And then over here, and then you see I've got a little, I can't think of the name of that thing. Yeah, it's where you cut up your paper. Anyway, these 2 boxes are Cropper Hopper 4x6 photo boxes. They're old, and that's where my film camera pictures are. I haven't scrapped a ton of those, but I do that Anyway, so, okay, so this is cool, you guys. I didn't realize this, but I can see your comments on my phone, so that's awesome. Thanks, Angela. That cord sitting there is actually my laptop. My laptop sits in here normally because it is my office, but I took it away just so we'd have more room. These little envelopes here are really 12 by 12, and they hold my, not all my page protectors, but my extra ones. So the ones that are like the 6 up, so you can put 6 4x6 photos in them, that kind of stuff. And then all my 6 by 8 ones for December Daily are there. These 3 boxes do a couple different things. The top one right now has my last Chamel kit, which I need to go through because I'm out of the paper. I just have not had time. And when I've been in here, I've preferred to scrapbook. This second box here is where I keep all my December Daily embellishments. I've shown that many times on my December Daily Prep. And this one right now is empty. Normally with Chamel's kits, I have my current month that I'm working on and then the next one, because that's how kind of she works. So that's how that works. So that's what those are. And these are, I'll show them to you. They're the Recollections craft storage boxes. I happen to have one of them that has a tray from the old boxes, but they don't make them anymore. So that's what that looks like. That's not too scary under there. There's a lot of cords, but other than that. So then the next box, oh my gosh, everything is being sassy and not wanting to open today, is where I keep my adhesives. So my foam dots are here. My ATG is here, and a little while ago I almost ran out of ATG. Like right now I only have 3 packs of the regular ATG, which for me is nothing. These are some old foil hearts, which I should just donate if I decide to donate those staples. My little Xyron is here. I've got the puffy dots and that kind of stuff, pop dots, that kind of stuff in here. So anything that's more that kind of stuff, that's where that stuff all is. And again, it's right to my left hand so that it's really easy for me to go through and figure out where stuff is. Next drawer is my ink drawer, and this changed recently because before I moved, I really got serious about my inks, and frankly, I still have too many, but at least it's better. So these are some of my Memento Dewdrop inks in the like golds and silvers and that kind of stuff. I do have a little bit of embossing powder there. I haven't used it in a while, but it doesn't go bad, so I kept it. These are Gina K inks. They're fairly new for me within the last 2 years because her business is located, actually, it's in the same town that or actually not the same town. It's one town over from where my grandkids live. And so it's really easy for me to get there. And I added in some colors that I don't normally have. Here's my other inks. This is where my like Tim Holtz stuff is. So my Distress Oxides, my regular Distress inks are underneath. Here's my vintage photo, and then I have other colors there. Here's my beloved gray flannel dewdrop ink, my brayer, which I don't use for inking very much, but I use it more for when I use my Cricut, and we'll get to that a little bit later. The one thing about that is that tool, don't have a great spot for it yet. I need to figure that out because the Cricut part of my life changed when I moved. So anyway, so it stays on is back here, and then I have some old Jenny Bolin inks that still work in there, and that's what her black is what I still use to ink black. So these drawers are great, and again, these are all those storage pieces. I said linens and things. I got these at Bed Bath & Beyond now that I think about it, but years ago when I first got this desk, so they're more than 15 years old. This drawer is a drawer, again, with more of those hardware cases. So this is where my more used mini embellishments go. So I have wood veneer. I have flare. And you could just get these at Walmart or whatever. Buttons. Here's some more brads. These are bigger brads. The other one were smaller brads. And then the last case in there, second to last case, is bigger wood veneer. And then there's where all my sequins go that are in colors. So I bought a big pack at some sort of expo or something a couple years ago, and you can definitely tell. So kind of arranged here by how I tend to use them. And it's starting to rain really loud again. We need it badly though, so I can't complain too loud. And then I do have a couple of foam pads and my glass mat just tucked in here as well, as you're looking at my knee. Nice. Okay, so then as I move over here, this is where my big, what is that, file cabinet is. And really, I'm not going to open it because I have to do it with two hands and I'd have to put the phone down, which obviously isn't going to work very well. The only thing I have in here, this is more crafty related. So it's things like my paints are in there. Some of my paints are in there that I would use for other projects. I have like the basket stuff is in there. I've got that kind of stuff in there. My TV is obviously on top of it. And then this is where I keep layouts that I've done that I need to do stuff with. So in this particular case, I've got to do voiceover. So they're sitting there. And then these are my little, Mercy Tiara did this sheet a couple years ago and I adapted it for myself. So if you ever ask a question afterwards, I can go to it and refer to it pretty easily and pretty quickly. So just to the left, and this has changed a bit for me, is now where I keep my punches. So I just have a Stairlight container. I'm not going to open all of these, but my border punches are the one I use most, so that's there. Then I have circle punches, shaped punches are in there. And I do have a big thing down in the bottom with ephemera in it. On top is, this is my stamp collection. Honestly, that's it. One basket. I don't get any more. Otherwise, I start to have to leave. And then behind that, behind the TV, just because that's how it worked out, is another basket. And that's where I have all of my dies for my cutter. My manual die cutter. Let's put it that way since I'm losing words. Okay, so in these boxes, there's not really a lot of scrapbooking related stuff in here, but there's things like crayons and markers, stuff I need to keep hidden from some of my grandkids yet, but they're there. And then that blackboard and that whiteboard are foam core boards so that I can lay my projects on them when I photograph them. So then next, I'm going to go back to that opening picture. This is my Kallax unit. I have a 4x4 here, as you can see, and then there's the top of it with another one of those lamps. I was going to do a 5x5 in here, and then I realized that if I ever put them back together again, they wouldn't work together because this is one of the two is new. I don't remember which of the two it is. So anyway, okay, so on my Kallax, I use baskets to store some of my stuff. So I have baskets like this, and that's what the paint is in that big photo cabinet. So this basket has a lot of my die cutting card making stuff from my Queen & Company cards. There's an old scrapbook. This is a scrapbook I made with some friends. This unit right here holds some of my Queen & Company embellishments for cards. Here is my Cuttlebug, which is my manual die cutter. So really easy and accessible if I want to use it. These boxes hold a couple of things. The first two hold twine. You've seen me pull that out. So this is my more colored. The one underneath is metallic. And then this holds my Hero Arts ink pads. It's going to be hard to use them, or grab them, but that's what's in there as well. If you ever want to see, into these containers, leave me a comment, and then I can do that for you. This one, sorry about my finger in there all the time. This particular box here holds some of my, well, actually this is it, I think, except for one. These are the scrapbook books that I've kept. So I have Ellie Edwards. I have a Kathy Zielski ones. Kathy Zielski, and then the page maps one, and then I have the big picture one down on the bottom. This basket here holds my cards. So really it's my card blanks, and then also my envelopes are in there. So those are nice and handy. I didn't do the top of this, so I will come back to that. Then I'm going to go back here. Those 4 cubbies have the majority of my pattern paper in it. So anything that I would file by designer is in there. I keep them in, You guys have seen these, and you can, if you're watching this live, you might be hearing Lucy, and these are my paper folders. You've seen these. I've shown you these a million times. So it starts here and works alphabetically to about here. My designers go to about here. And then I've got kid stuff. So I have little girl and baby girl. I have boy and baby boy here. And then I start to go into holidays and specialties. So Christmas is here. I've got fall. I have food. I have sports. So any of this stuff is more themed that I would work with. And I didn't think I was a themey scrapbooker until I looked at the way this was arranged. I actually used to have 5 of these with paper in them, but I've culled it down in the last year. And so I'm happy about that. My Christmas and fall and that kind of stuff here. This is more stuff like school, food, sports, cats are in here, all that kind of stuff. Then I'm coming down here, and this particular cubby houses some ephemera from a trip I took and to England, and it was, I don't know, 12 years ago. I need to get through that. This box is Bible journaling stuff because I am still Bible journaling. It's more the inky kind of messy stuff for Bible journaling that's in there. This is a Creative Memories card kit. This is new that this needs to be stored here. My scrapbook room is about half the size of my old scrapbook room. And my old scrapbook room, a large part of it was just open flooring, but I did have a dedicated workspace for my Cricut, and I was able to put all that kind of stuff, my heat press and all that kind of stuff there, plus all my tools, and I cannot do that in this room. So that I'll talk about that in just a minute. But so my mats are here, that's there. This is how I store my die cuts. So these are photo keepers from Michael's, and I store them in the photo boxes that go in there, and then they're just in there. I've shown you that before. If you want me to go back over that on another video, I will do that, but I don't want to take the time to do it today. Now I'm going to get down on my knees here. So then down here again is another box. This one has some just miscellaneous embellishments and old chipboard alphabets that I haven't gone through that I really should and get rid of it. My extra sleeves are here, 12 by 12 sleeves. Here's the book that I was telling you about, the big picture scrapbooking. And this one is where my ribbon is. And then these are the plates for my cutter, Cuddlebug, I should say. In here, I have some 12 by 12 stamps here, and then here are envelopes where I keep, big envelopes where I keep like my jewels and that kind of stuff. I keep my enamel dots somewhere else. And then other things, like I still have some rub-ons that work, that kind of stuff there in there. Here is a class I took on photos, so I keep that handy. These are my Zig markers, and then this one is some more embellishments that I don't use as often, but that I want to keep in there. Frankly, there were love embellishments in there that I hid. Now I'm actually using them. So back up to the top. So the top surface here is I have these IKEA like stadium holders. And in here, I keep my tags and envelopes are in here. I've got some pens. These are Bible journaling pens, actually. There's chipboard up here. That's the smaller chipboard pieces. I've got bags, that kind of stuff. Some longer stickers, all sorts of stuff like that. So that's Bible journaling combined with other stuff, because some of that stuff is Bible journaling embellishments. It's about half and half. I had 2 of these with my Bible journaling separated out, and my room was feeling really tight and tiny. So I combined this one for now until I can get rid of some of the other embellishments in one of the other baskets on the other side, like maybe some doilies need to go away. And then I could put tags and that kind of stuff in there, but I don't have room to do that now, but that's my plan. And then on top, some pictures of some good friends. So then the next thing we're at here is my printer and Cricut station. And what I had to do is I had to decide between my sewing machine or my Cricut. I use my Cricut more than my sewing machine, so it's out on top, so all I have to do is take the cover off and I can use it. My printer is right below that here, and that is a photo printer as well. I tend to print now just at Walmart. I know the quality is not what it can be somewhere else, but frankly, I'm paying for all the printing of all the books that I do for people, so I think it's good enough. Then on the side here, I have a 12 by 12 clipboard that I usually have a layout on. And since I've moved in, I haven't done that, but I do have layouts I've done. So I usually put my most recent favorite layout on there. And then below that, I've hung my Cricut mats. So here's my blue mats, my green mats are below. That's that. And then in the bottom here, I do store my other ribbon that was in that wicker basket is round ribbon. That needs to go in it. This is stuff that I put on foam cards, and I just attach it with pins. And then here is paper, cardstock, my stamp envelopes, my thickers envelopes that I use that you guys have seen, rubbing alcohol, and some of the release paper for my Cricut is in there as well. So that's all pretty organized and easy for me to get to. Some photos above there. The one big thing that I haven't done in here that was holding me back is I'm going to spin you around to the room. I want to put pictures of flowers up here. I have a whole bunch of them. Some that I've taken, some that I've bought, but I can't figure out how to do it and not do it symmetrically. So I'm just going to wait on that a little bit. So then if we're going to the left here, this is a closet. I'm not even going to open it because the only thing that's in there that's scrapbook related is my sewing machine. It's on a shelf that's waist high. And then I have my big scrap basket that I throw my scraps in there. And that's all that's there. So then coming back around, there's my door, is the opposite side of the room again where we're heading back to my desk. So then I have a cart here. This is the Michaels cart. It's not an IKEA cart because, again, the blue and yellow theme here. And in here in the top, I have what I have left from flowers. I do use them. These are Cricut. These are Queen & Company sequins and other embellishments for cards. Here's my my Nuvo drops that I really need to use. So that's that. And these are all in just plastic little bins that I bought at Walmart. So I probably could get another one of these because they still have them. And then here's more of those bins. All my Mr. Huey's is in here, and that kind of ink is in there. And then I have my glitter glues and drops and that kind of stuff in there. And then this is holding my date stamps and phrase stamps there. So it's more a mixed media cart. And then down here is some glue, overflow glues, that kind of stuff. I have a couple of journaling books here. And then also here, these are some things that could be inked and that kind of stuff. And then a set of markers that I discovered were washable when my 5-year-old grandson, or 4-year-old at the time, grandson got a hold of them last year. So sorry about my hand there, guys. All right, so coming back around, these are my 12 by 12 paper trays. And remember I told you that most of my pattern paper was in those trays back, those envelopes back here. This is how I keep my cardstock and my faux solids. So like here, let me give you an example. This is my blue faux solids. So I can just go to it. I know where those are. Here's my blue cardstock, okay? And I don't use cardstock that much, so I haven't really bought any in ages. Here's my kind of aqua turquoise faux solids. In this particular case, the cardstock is underneath because I don't have as much. So sometimes I have 2, sometimes I have 1, but I have them all sorted by color. And no, they are not according to Roy G. Biv. They're according to how I tend to use them. I have blacks and whites. This is more specialty papers up here. I should probably show you. So like I have this birthday paper with dates on it. I have some shaped papers in here. And then on top here are stickers and chipboard sheets. So like the big 12 by 12 chipboard sheets are there. So that's all ready to go. Then next to that, and those you can buy, I think I bought them from scrapbook.com. Then I have these baskets here, and this is how I store my 6x12 letter stickers, so AKA thickers mainly. They have tops. You can see a top here. I did keep this top, but I took the top off one of them because I used to only have one thing of thickers. It's not that way anymore. So they are done by color. I did these cardboard dividers, put a piece of washi and the color on it. And I need to go through these again. I go through my thickers about every 3 months or so and try to make myself toss the ones that I'm not using anymore. Underneath, it's sitting on one of them with a top. That's where my black and white are. I think purple's under there. So my most used colors are up here, red, aqua green. My gold is up here. And then, I know, isn't it funny that my black and white letter stickers are down here? But there's also more of them, so then I can keep them there. And then this one, so those are thickers alphas, so chipboard foam, that kind of stuff. Here are where my actual letter stickers are. And then Bella Boulevard chipboard, they did a line of them, so that's in that basket. This is my Creative Memories photo trimmer. I do use that to trim my photos just because I do it so much. So that is basically then we are back around to my desk again. Now, you might be asking yourselves, hey, Kelly, I see that you have that lovely shelf with all that paper on and all of that. Didn't your scrapbooks used to reside on that? Where are your scrapbooks? Well, we are going to go for a walk, and I'm going to walk away from my iPad, but I will keep your, I'll keep watching to see if you've got any comments. So we're going to walk through my apartment here. So I'm going to try to do it as slow as I can. So you're going to get a view of the cat toys all over the living room floor, guys. So there's my new living room. Did an aqua and navy, kind of here, I'll back out a little bit, aqua and navy kind of color theme, which love. And I have to have stuff on the back of my sofas because the cats sit on top of those. Back out to my little balcony here. And then this room is my room where my treadmill is. But voila, it also has 2 shelves, 2 Kallax units. So there's a 4x4 and my 2x4. So these are my this actually, now that I think about it, this is the new 4x4 unit. The other old one is in my scrapbook room. And then this unit existed prior to that. So this is where the majority of my scrapbooks live. I do have a couple cubies of my cookbooks in here. And I've severely culled those down because they probably would have filled up half of these. And then I've got bigger or unusual scrapbook sizes here. This is going to be a little harder because I can't back out too far. And then my December daily starts. You can tell where I started using the 6x8 albums. I wish they had stayed with this peppermint stripe wide one, but they have not. And then I have them all organized. These are my first ones. You can tell that because they're brown. So these are the old American Crafts albums. And then I'm using the Hobby Lobby black albums now. And I have a couple specialty ones. This blue one is my baby book. And then I have a bunch of trip albums here from my big trips like Ireland and Italy, and then England and Wales. And then my bottom shelf, I'm going to go way down here, is, so this here is the current years I'm working on for me. And then my grandkids albums, I have a space for my great nephews and my great nieces albums down here. So one here, one there. So I have some room to grow here, all the way down to there. And then this last cubby here are my DVDs. Yes, guys, I still am old-fashioned and have DVDs. So someday that's not going to be able to be there. I'm going to have to take that apart because obviously I don't have DVDs anymore. Or, I shouldn't say I won't have room for the DVDs anymore. But this for me is probably about a place where I'm going to live for 2 years or so. Oh, and then I should show you this. So this is not my pile of shame, but this is the stuff I've scrapbooked lately. So I just set my layouts that need to go in the albums right here. And I try not to let them pile up too much because I hate that job otherwise. It's not so bad as it is. So pictures of grandkids. This is like a travel themed room for me too. So I have a poster of San Francisco, and there's 3 cities I love there. And then my little running badges are there. So that is how I store stuff. There's one more thing that we walked by that I did not show you, so let me do that. I do have mini albums, and I keep them in baskets right in my living room, so people can open them, which people don't normally do that. I do. So these are more Christmas-themed mini albums, some of the early books that I did, and then these are just kind of regular mini albums that of maybe a little bit of a trip, or my mom and I had a journal going back and forth for a while, that kind of stuff, maybe a long weekend trip that I really enjoyed, that kind of stuff. So that's what that all is. So I am going to walk you back into my scrapbook room again, and that's pretty much it. Which, boy, that wasn't too bad. It's under an hour. I didn't know how long this was going to take. So do you guys have any questions that I can answer? Is there anything you want to see in a little bit more detail? Because I will try to do that for you now. If you don't, though, that's okay. You can always ask questions, you know, on the video, or just just do that as we go. So thanks, Cynthia. I love the fact that I was able to get my favorite aqua color into my apartment. Now it feels definitely like home. I've been mostly unpacked for about 2 weeks now. Unfortunately, this room was really one of the last rooms that I had to unpack, and it was really hard. You know, I think I said this to you guys on lives that I did. I had planned on being able to scrapbook it. I just didn't have time. Once I started, I wanted to be done. I hate living in boxes. So this room literally was full of boxes. Like, you could not move in here. That's how much stuff was in here, because that's what it takes when you have all the little things that we have as scrapbookers. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, that is my room. I'm so glad I finally got to show it to you. And like I said, it's basically done. I have a decent sized space. You know, I didn't measure this, but it's still certainly, still certainly much bigger than a lot of people get, right? So I feel very grateful. This is my second bedroom. I don't have a guest room. So yeah, definitely. And as I was talking, as Cynthia commented, so I'm going to come back over to, there you go. There's a nice view out my window. I love. I love having a window right at my desk and being able to look out. So Cynthia said she needs to do her room so she can scrapbook, so that she'll scrapbook. And that definitely, for me, it's a big deal, because I can walk in here and I can start scrapbooking. And now you guys, my desktop looks like my desktop looks when I leave my scrapbook room. Honestly, I clean up when I'm done. I usually clean up even between layouts, unless I'm using the same product. Like, I did 3 layouts today with some of the Echo Park Boy stuff. So that I let it sit out on my desk as I was working with it. But once I was done and I started other stuff, I just cleaned it up, put the paper and all the embellishments back, and then started again. I need a clean desk to start with. It's just the way my creative process works. That doesn't mean it's better or worse than anybody else's. It just is what it is. So anyway, well, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. I'm so glad that you guys joined me today, and I will put this in a playlist for my scrap room so that you can always come back to it if you need to. And like I said, if you come up with any additional comments or anything like that, or anything you want to see more of, or just are wondering where I got it, I tried to tell you that as we went. But otherwise, definitely leave those questions and I'll get them answered for you. So thank you guys for joining me. Bye, everybody.